What's up guys, here to do the latest Naruto chapter review. I thought it was a very solid chapter, and so I'm just going to set it off with a spoiler alert warning for everybody watching. And so I'm assuming you've read the chapter or don't mind it being spoiled. So this is the latest chapter, I believe it's 644, and it was a very solid chapter. And so rather than say all the stuff I liked about it, because there's a lot of obvious generic stuff, and I'm just going to jump into the stuff I didn't like about it. Now, I hope you guys don't get the wrong vibe that I'm trashing this one, because I'm just omitting the stuff I didn't like. And frankly, I don't care if you guys think that, because I didn't like some stuff in it, and I didn't hate it, but it's just some stuff I need to get out. So this is a very small thing, but I believe like at least 1 or 2 chapters already, the same sort of thing has been said by Naruto's dad, Minato, which was something like, you've grown up tremendously, Naruto, or I'm very proud of you, Naruto, or why I am so sorry me and my wife has missed out on so much, Naruto. And it's been done over and over, and sure, it's very heart tendering, and it's like the theme of the whole chapter pretty much. And I think that in itself did not have to be said so many times, and him saying those exact words again could have been omitted, and all the stuff afterwards would have still created the same vibe. It was just a little too redundant and sort of mushy and like girly, and all the stuff afterwards had this pretty much Naruto saying, "You don't have to say anything more, Dad. I know that you and Mom really cared for me, etc., etc." And this was all sort of represented in the later half of the chapter, which didn't really have to be done again. And regardless, it really resonated with me. The whole message resonated with me, especially with my parenthood and childhood. So it very well made sense, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there who may have not had parents throughout their entire childhood, or maybe just sporadically throughout their childhood, you can relate. And so it was a very solid chapter in that regard. And again, a lot of the plot points, the drawings, very well done. The whole thing with them like fist bumping and it turning into like a key, and all the symbology, very good. And so I want to bring my point to Hashirama. So here's my thing. Hashirama was not enveloped in freaking Naruto's chakra, and we know that Obito's black and white ninjutsu pierces through Ito Tensei. So that's the first thing I immediately thought of. Wouldn't Hashirama be dead? Because obviously he doesn't know about this yet. So if I know what's going to happen. He's not going to be dead, because the Biju Damas, the 4 Biju Damas, did not implement black and white ninjutsu in them. Why? Because it's probably just an unfortunate thing the author didn't think of, and it's sort of like a loophole that he's going to have to get around, and he's going to get around it. He obviously, judging by 600 chapters of the manga, we know what type of author this guy is. He's not willing to kill off people like that, and so Hashirama will survive, but it will be a rather unfortunate loophole. Obito, being smart, should have logically implemented black and white ninjutsu into the Biju Damas, but for some reason, we know Ito Tensei will for some reason take effect, or for whatever reason Madara and Hashirama will still be alive in the next chapter. And so that's the biggest loophole I can think of. And other than that, it's just a very solid chapter, very simple in a lot of ways, and I guess the one thing was I forgot his name, but I think it's Shikamaru, the guy who has like who's like genius as well as controls the shadows of people. Well, I think this is just like an important life lesson. He drew a blank when trying to figure out how to solve this, and it's just a very important thing in life in general. Sometimes life is not some sort of chess game where there's always some sort of option where you can sort of solve the problem, and he himself could not solve the problem, and so he admitted to it, and he was like, it's a dead end for me, I'm drawing a blank. And even in chess it's the same thing. Like, it's not like in chess there isn't always a sort of pathway left for you where you can still win the game. Sometimes you have to give it up. That's the whole point of chess, especially when you've gotten deep into the game. And so that's just an important life lesson. Fairly solid chapter, not much more else to be said, and I can truly relate to how the dad and the mom of Naruto felt throughout the chapter with my own life. And that was pretty much the whole sort of story of this chapter. And again, I really very much, I wouldn't say loved, it was sort of annoying at times, but the sort of gag following Naruto, being this sort of stupidish character who doesn't really understand exactly how his own ninjutsus work, and then being sort of reprimanded by the second Hokage and even told, that's not even your ninjutsu, I was the one who invented it, stop calling it your ninjutsu. And so that's it for this chapter review. I'm just going to give it a solid. No numerical rating. It doesn't deserve a numerical rating. Numerical ratings are bad in a lot of ways, so I'm just going to give it a solid rating. Peace out.